Hi guys, I'm Anita and I'm back with another video, and today is part 2 of my video series What's on my Overdrive. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the first one. If you haven't seen that yet, then definitely check it out. I will leave a link to the card symbol up here so you can see what books are on my TBR apart from the ones I'm talking about today. We are on to the last 10 pages, and I think those I'm most excited about because they're most recently added to my wish list. And by recently, I mean since the last 6 months or something. The first book on my TBR, on this part of my TBR, is Georgia Peaches and Other Forbidden Fruit by J. Robin Brown. The next one I have is The 1,000th Floor by Catherine McGee. This is like, I'm not sure if it's something I like, but since it's on my Overdrive, it's free, I might read it at some point if it's like a fast read or something. And then I have Between Two Thorns by Emma Newman. This is one I'm pretty excited about because it's urban fantasy and it's been talked highly about by Caitlin from Kitty D. And if I like it, the next 2 books on this from the series is also on Overdrive. The next one is Sleeping Giant by Sylvain Novelle. I don't know when this will be up, so maybe I already will have read it by this time because it's part of the BookTube SFF Awards. Actually, the sequel is part of the BookTube SFF Awards nominees for Best Science Fiction Novel. The next one I have, The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. The next one I have is The Year of Living Danishly by Helen Russell. This is a book that's been talked about by so many different people on BookTube, and they've all been talking really highly about it. And I'm super curious about this book because I want to see how Helen Russell actually saw Denmark and if she's gotten it right, you know, because of me being Danish and all. Yeah, I think it says, uncovering the secrets of the world's happiest country. Well, we're not the world's happiest country any longer. I think Norway surpassed us with that. Just a fun fact. The next one I also have on my list is Everything Leads to You by Nina LaCour, and also We Are Okay by Nina LaCour. And I have The Grown Up by Gillian Flynn. I don't know if I'll enjoy it or not. I'm not sure. And then I have The Found and the Lost by Ursula K. Le Guin. I would like to read all of her books, so I'd like to read this one at some point as well. The next one is The Paper Menagerie by Ken Liu, a short story collection that he put together, and I really like to read that. It's been praised highly among some of my BookTube friends. Next one is All the Birds in the Sky by Charlie Jane Anders. I think this has gotten a little mixed reviews, but the majority seems to really enjoy it, but I'm interested in it anyway. Behind Closed Doors by B.A. Paris. The Strings of Murder by Oscar de Muriel. Micro by Michael Crichton. This is one I'm scared of getting into. I liked the Jurassic Park, but if it's like with bugs and stuff all over the place, that would be ugh. Next one is Pretty Girls by Karen Slaughter. I'm interested in her as an author. I have never read anything by her before. Then the next one is Case Histories by Kate Atkinson. All the Ugly and Wonderful Things by Bren Greenwood. The Girls by Emma Klein is, I'm not sure I want to read this any longer. Lilac Girls by Martha Hall Kelly. Gardens of the Moon by Steven Erikson, which is like one of those really, really popular fantasy series. I think it's called Melisande of the Book or Melisande of the World. I forgot the series title, but it's really, really big. It's like a series of multiple trilogies, and I think 2 authors have been writing for this world. I'm not sure about that, and this is the first book set in this world. I think where people are talking about this is also the best place to start with the series. So I'm a little scared of getting into this, but I will actually like to read it and see what the fuss is about. The next one I have is Mad Adam by Margaret Atwood. I already have The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. I own that book for real, in physical form, but I'd like to also check out some other books by her. Then I have Odd Thomas by Dean Koontz. This is a book series that I've actually had on my Goodreads TBR for quite a while, and I think it sounds really interesting. Then I have Half a King by Joe Abercrombie. Ghostly by Audrey Niffenegger. The Woman in Black by Susan Hill. Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. Hygge by Marie Tourell Söderberg, which is The Danish Art of Happiness, and A Wizard of Earthsea by Ursula K. Le Guin. Again, as I said, I'd like to read all of her books. And I have Gemini by Amy Kaufman because I've heard really great things about the audios, and when I eventually unwrap that from my TBR, I'd like to read that alongside my book. That's what I want to say. The next one is The Call of Cthulhu by H.P. Lovecraft. I don't know how to say that title. And The Children of Earth and Sky by Guy Gavriel Kay. We Are the Ants by Sean David Hutchinson. Little Big by John Crowley. The Keeper of Lost Things by Ruth Hogan. Sister Sister by Sue Forth. Hagseed by Margaret Atwood. I probably should read the Shakespearean play that this is based upon before I get into that though. Commonwealth by Anne Patchett. A Wrinkle in Time by Madeleine L'Engle. Seven Eves by Neil Stevenson. Crenshaw by Catherine Applegate. Two Like the Lightning by Ada Palmer. Moving Pictures by Terry Pratchett and the rest of the Discworld books. Eric is the next one in my series, but they didn't have that on Overdrive, so I'll just be listening to the audio of that. The Three Body Problem by Liu Cixin. I'm not sure. Usually Chinese authors, you always say their surname first and then the actual first name afterwards. I know that from badminton because I watch a lot of badminton, and all of those players from the South Asian countries, you always say their surnames before their first names. So I'm presuming that he's actually Liu Cixin and not Cixin Liu, unless he decided to write it so that we say it the right way. So let me know if you know about that. The Zookeeper's Wife by Diane Ackerman. The Tea-Girl of Hummingbird Lane by Lisa C. The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter by Theodora Goss. The Power by Naomi Alderman. The Wishing Spell by Chris Colfer. The Killer Artist by Danielle Silver. Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. The Almost Sisters by Jocelyn Jackson. The Invisible Library by Genevieve Cockman. The Woman in the Castle by Jessica Shattuck. Magpie Murders by Anthony Horowitz. The Jane Austen Project by Kathleen A. Flynn. I probably should read more of Jane Austen's book before I get to this one. The Rise and Fall of Dodo, or D.O.D.O. by Neil Stevenson and Nicole Galland. The Seven Sisters by Lucinda Riley. The Leavers by Lisa Coe. History of Wolves by Emily Fridland. This is a big, I'm not sure about this one. Swing Time by Sadie Smith. Things We Lost in the Fire by Mariana Enriquez. Magic and Mayhem by Sharon Pape. Hadriana in All My Dreams by Renée Depestre. Birdcage Walk by Kate Riordan. The Wanderers by Meg Howry. The Stars Are Fire by Anita Shreve. The author name piqued my interest. Don't Cry by Mary Gateskill. The Butchers of Berlin by Chris Petit. Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine by Gail Honeyman. Orphan Train by Kristen Baker Klein. The Essex Serpent by Sarah Perry. Tell the Wolves I'm Home by Carol Rivka Brunt. The Marsh King's Daughter by Karen Dayon. Colorless Tsukuri Tasaka. And His Years of Pilgrimage by Haruki Murakami. I've never read anything by this author, but I'd like to give him a try. The Girl Who Drank the Moon by Kelly Barnhill. Chemistry by Wilkie Wang, which I know Riley has read and really enjoyed. The War by Brian Catling. 1,000 Paper Birds by Tor Udall. How to Behave in a Crowd by Camille Bordas. Not Working by Lisa Owens. Where the Light Falls by Alison Pataki. A Boy in Winter by Rachel Seifert. Black Mad Wheel by Josh Malaman. This depends on how I'm enjoying his other book that I own. Nuclear Family by Susanna Fogel. Hum If You Don't Know the Words by Bianca Marais. Fierce Kingdoms by Jen Phillips. The Changeling by Victor Laval. City of Stairs by Robert Jackson Bennett. Since We Fall by Dennis Lehane. Sour Heart by Jenny Chang. The Sixth Victim by Tessa Harris. The Table of Wolves by Kay Kenyon. Born by James Vandermeer. This should possibly have been read by the time this goes up, because it will be part of my March read-alongs. Strange Weather by Joel Hill. If I enjoy the books that are already owned by him, I'd like to read this one as well. The Silent Companions by Laura Purcell. Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. Strange Dreamer by Lenny Taylor. I'm actually listening to this as we speak, so yeah. A Princess of Mars by Edgar Rice Burroughs. Prelude to Foundation by Isaac Asimov. I saw that this is where chronologically the whole Foundation world universe thing is starting. And this is quite short compared to the other Foundation books, so maybe this is a good place to start out with Isaac Asimov, but let me know about that, I'd like to know. The Grip of It by Jack Jemk. A Separation by Katie Kitamura. The Child Finder by Renee Denfeld. Bonfire by Kristen Ritter. This one I added because the saying is so Danish or Scandinavian that I had to check it out. There's No Such Thing as Bad Weather by Linda Åkesson McGurk. I think she might be Swedish and maybe has married an English guy, because Åkesson is definitely Swedish. Linda is also pretty common in both Sweden and Denmark. Hidden Sea by Gregory Maguire. The Stone in the Skull by Elizabeth Bear. The Black Tides of Heaven by J.Y. Yang. The Heart's Invisible Furries by John Boyne. This I added because of James Chatham and his he keeps talking about this book and how much he loves it. It was his favorite read of last year, and I think he's already reread it a couple of times since then, so I'm interested in finding out why he enjoys this book so much. The Stowaway, a young man's extraordinary adventure to Antarctica by Laurie Gwen Shapiro. I think this is a non-fiction book, and it's about the first, I think, trip to Antarctica. And The Monk of Mocha by Dave Eggers, another non-fiction book that I'm interested in, that was published in January. Big Little Lies by Liane Moriarty. Eternal Life by Dana Horn. The Woman in the Window by A.J. Finn. Beneath the Mountain by Luca D'Andrea. They All Fall Down by Tammy Cohen. The Wife Between Us by Greer Hendricks. The Immortalists by Chloe Benjamin. This I added because of Michael from Michael H. He talked really highly about the writing and the topic so far that he's read. He was like halfway through when I added this, so I don't know if he has actually finished it. The Noel Diary by Richard Paul Evans, which I think is a Christmas story, so I'll save that until Christmas time. The Natural Way of Things by Charlotte Wood. Midwinter Break by Bernard McLaverty, I think. Saints and Misfits by S.K. Ali. The Good Daughter by Karen Slaughter. Far from the Tree by Robin Benway. Purple Hibiscus by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. Eliza and Her Monsters by Francesca Sapia. Dress Code for Small Towns by Courtney Stevens. The Smell of Other People's Houses by Bonnie Sue Hitchcock. The Kind Worth Killing by Peter Swanson. The Glass Castle by Janet Walls. A Carter Witch by Nadia Corafor. The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. Ink by Alice Broadway. Renegades by Marissa Meyer. Stars Above, also by Marissa Meyer, which is the short story collection set in the Lunar Chronicles world. The Skinjacker trilogy by Neil Schusterman. Howl's Moving Castle by Diana Wynne Jones. The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden, which I will hopefully have read by the end of March, but we'll see. The Rift by Nina Allen. Why You Eat What You Eat by Rachel Hertz, which is a non-fiction book about eating habits. Creatures of Will and Temper by Molly Tanzer. The Life She Was Given by Ellen Maria Weisman. Borderline by Michelle Baker. Child of a Mad God by R.A. Salvatore, which I'm dying to get to. The Glass Town Game by Catherine M. Valente. Spellwright by Blake Charlton. Certain Dark Things by Sylvia Morena Garcia. When the Heavens Fall by Mark Turner. The Dragonbone Chair by Tad Williams. The City and the City by China Mayerville. Fahrenheit 451. And finally, Pawn of Prophecy by Dave Eddings. This is a series I want to read. I first wanted to read it in the Danish translated edition, but since I can both listen to the audio and read the ebooks, I probably will do that when I get to it. So these were all of the books that were on my TBR on Overdrive. Currently, I seem to add something almost at least every month recently, but I'm excited about a lot of these books. So as I said before, I'd like to know in the comments down below which books you'd think I should read, because they're underhyped, because you've never heard of them, you find them intriguing. Also let me know if there's some popular books that you'd like me to read, but I'd much rather hear about those that are a little underhyped, because that could be a lot of fun, getting some attention out to some authors that hasn't got a lot of attention already. This was all I had for you today. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video very soon. Goodbye!